I'm Jon-Michael, VP of Operations at PlanScout. Today, I'll be showing you how the advanced tax calculation features in SIPS can help us analyze and model some Roth IRA conversion scenarios within a financial plan. Roth conversions can be a great way for clients with large amounts of tax-deferred assets to reduce their RMDs and their income tax liabilities by front-loading some of those taxes early during their retirement. Today, we'll look at two types of Roth conversions: a normal conversion from an IRA account to a Roth IRA, and an internal Roth conversion within a hybrid annuity. So let's get started. Okay, so here we have our sample client, and let's take a look and see whether this client might be a good candidate for a Roth conversion. So we're going to check a couple of different things. First, we want to know, do they have a large amount of IRA assets? And for this client, they have $1.25 million in their IRA, so I would say yes, they've got quite a large amount of their IRA savings in their IRA. We also want to look at what their taxes are like, especially in these years after retirement but before RMDs begin. And we can see that this client's paying basically zero taxes for these 8 years, years 3 through 10. So that tells us we've got tax bracket capacity that we could use for a Roth conversion. And the other thing that we would look at is, do they have excess RMDs? Is the amount of their RMD that they are having to take greater than what they actually need for their target income? Because if that's the case, then they're withdrawing from their IRAs more than they need, and they're paying more income taxes on that when they don't even need the income. And we can tell that by seeing how, starting in year 14, there's excess savings being put into the non-qualified account. So this client really touches all three criteria. They've got a large IRA, they've got lots of years with tax bracket capacity, and they've got a large amount of excess RMDs. So I would say that this is a good candidate for a Roth conversion. I'm actually going to leave this scenario here as our before so we can compare back to it. I'm going to go to a different scenario to begin our conversion work. Before we start converting, it's important to know what our budget is for what we can convert each year. A common way that we can decide that is by looking at the taxes they paid during their working years and what tax bracket they were in while they were still working, and try to stay within that tax bracket as much as possible. So we can see that very easily by going to our income tax page. We're going to create a tax scenario for year 1, and we can see that this client is in the 22% tax bracket. They're paying about $20,000 a year in taxes. So that gives us essentially a tax budget that we can stick to while we do our conversions. So we're going to try to stay within that 22% tax bracket. So the first thing that we need to do from here is add an account. So we're going to create our Roth IRA. We're going to leave the account balance as blank because we don't have anything in here yet. We can set our hypothetical return. I want to make sure my tax calculation option is set to do not tax Roth because we don't want any withdrawals out of this account to be treated as taxable events. And then I'm going to set the account type to Roth, and we should be good to go. Now, we can do some trial and error here. We can go between the IRA and the Roth and experiment with, how much we can, withdraw from the IRA and save to the Roth. But if you have a SIPS Advanced subscription, then you already have dynamic mode here, and this will also let us iterate and find what our sweet spot is going to be. So I'm going to start with $50,000, showing us a withdrawal out of the IRA, and then a savings into the Roth. We can calculate and we can see, okay, that gets us part of the way there. We're using about half our tax bracket room, so we can convert more if we want. We could say, let's do a lot more and convert $150,000. Again, we can easily say that, okay, that's going to be probably too much. Now we've pushed ourselves into another tax bracket. But I bet our sweet spot is going to be in the middle. Let's try $100,000 a year for years 3, 4, and 5. And there we go. We're right on the money here in terms of our tax targets. So I'm going to cancel out of dynamic mode. I'm going to go to my IRA, and I'm going to create an annual fixed withdrawal of $100,000 in years 3, 4, and 5. Click Pick Years, Save. In the Roth IRA, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do annual fixed savings. I'm going to do that in years 3, 4, and 5. Pick years. And now we've replicated what we just try it with dynamic mode. We can verify that we've stayed within the right tax bracket by going back to our income tax page. We can create a tax scenario for year 3. We'll see that $100,000 is going to show up on the IRA distributions row. If you like to show these tax scenarios to your clients, or you work with a CPA and you want to clarify that, hey, this wasn't really an income distribution, this was a Roth conversion, you can move that $100,000 down to the Roth conversion row. It's going to be treated the same in terms of the tax calculation, but just maybe it's a little bit cleaner. And now we can see we've stayed within the 22% tax bracket. Our effective tax rate, again, is also very similar to what we had before at just over 14%. So I think this part is good to go. And let's go back to our plan and see where we stand. So we still have about 5 years of tax bracket room that we can use. Again, Social Security starts within these years. So I only did this $100,000 conversion for years 3 through 4 and 5 because I thought that starting in year 6, once we begin Social Security, the amount that we can convert each year is probably going to change. And we can also see we've got, a few more years here of excess RMDs, so we can probably convert a little bit more to get rid of those. So let's look at our before scenario. We can see that we ended this scenario after 32 years with $3,092,784. We were paying $713,741 in total income taxes. After we do the Roth conversion, we've converted a quite large amount, $550,000 in the Roth, and then about $186,000 within the hybrid. That increases our savings to $3,333,213. So it's about a $240,000 increase. And we've reduced our taxes to $509,727,000. So that's about a $200,000 decrease compared to not doing the conversion. And we also see that we've solved the issue of our excess RMDs now. Our RMDs for this client now are much more manageable. They are within the target income range that we have for the plan. We've balanced those out with a nice chunk of Roth IRA money each year, and then using some of our non-qualified to make up the gaps. So quite a successful result, I think, for this client to do this proposed Roth IRA conversion. And we're done. With advanced tax planning, we were able to identify that this client was a good candidate for a Roth conversion. We found what years we wanted to convert within and easily kept track of our income taxes throughout the plan. We can also quantify the value of this Roth conversion for the client in terms of additional savings and reduced taxes. For more planning resources and tutorial videos, please visit www.sipsplanning.com. For more information about our outsourced financial planning services, please visit www.planscout.com. Thank you very much and have a great day.